Hello everybody, welcome to the second episode of How to Win Consistently on Teamfight Tactics. I'm Imperial Fortress HD and I welcome you to this series. As I said before, those series of videos are dedicated to the people who want to know more about this game, who are willing to learn about this game, or who just interested in that game in general. So yeah, from the feedback I received for the first episode, it is clear that people wanted more direct, just over-explain approach. So tonight we'll be over-explaining one of my games from the Twitch world that I have here open. So yeah, we're just gonna do this. And yes, of course, I do stream on Twitch at Imperial Fortress HD. The link will be somewhere around there. So I will be very pleased and happy to see you there. So let's just get to it. I'm gonna move the vote and we're gonna start. So I'm gonna be pausing on those like a lot, so get ready to this. So what we need to understand right now in early game is that you have two main things you need to care in early game. First of all, it is the item. The item on early game is like your game-changing moment for it, because the items you choose are basically dictate what team comp you're supposed to be building, and also some items could just win you the game by itself if you just find like one or two correct pieces. Otherwise, if you don't find those pieces, you'll be just losing out, and if you don't have any good items, you are most likely impossible to win without just good items, because people with good items will outscale you. So here we care about the good items. How to know what items are good or bad? First of all, you need to be up to date to know that. Like, some items get better, some items get worse from patch to patch, so you just need to keep an eye on it, test out and try, see what other people do. But most likely what you are looking for at all is damage. So the damage items are more interesting to us because dealing more damage is better than just picking up all the defensive items and just sitting here doing nothing. So from the carousel here, what we see is that we have three damage items. So it is the glove, it is the rod, and it is a sword. Those are good. The bow is also a decent pick first off, but it's not as good as it used to be. Back then the bow used to be the best item in the game for picking up early because you needed attack speed and all that stuff, and the items it builds in were just amazing. Right now it's not the case, so it's more balanced around, so the bow is not that important as it used to be. Probably the worst items are basically this John's clock here, maybe the belt. Tears, pretty bad. The chain vest is actually a decent item because chain vest builds into things that are very good, so it is like a better tier defensive item. Another thing that used to be the case and not anymore is the cost of the units that you're picking in. So as we can see right now, on the current patch, all of those units are 2 cost. It used to be that you would have some units 2 cost and some units would be 1 cost. And that would mean a lot, because before you could just have those items, not the items but the units sold and pick up better ones. So it was a big deal. Right now it is more balanced. One thing I haven't talked about yet is this spatula. So the spatula is an interesting thing, because in the early stages of the game, the spatula by itself does nothing, like absolutely nothing. But the further you go into the game, the more power this item holds. It's like this fixing measure where you could get some very interesting comps with it. So it's fine to be picking spatula in the first, but it's probably not the best. I mean, it's decent if it is on a unit like this. Probably here I will be actually picking the Z, because the Z by himself is a really good piece. You kind of like the Z, you need him because he does very good damage because of his ninja passive. So he's very good. But if, for example, if this spatula wasn't bronze, I wouldn't be exactly picking it. I don't know. I would 100% went for this spike with the glove or this bow. Just fine. Shen is also good as a piece, and the sword by itself is a really good item. So you just need to process that. And of course, you always are limited to the things that are around you because there are like 7 other players trying to pick an item. So yeah, just look around, but always go for the big damage stuff first, and then go for like what's left for you then. So yeah. So we're just gonna continue here. I think here I actually picked the Z, and I'm getting lucky because I was fighting for this glove, as you could see, and I saw that this guy was just more successful, like he was closer to this, to picking this unit. So I'll just pick Z because the unit is fine, and especially is like your scaling carry measurement for the next stages of the game. So right here is just first round. We are killing creeps. Nothing really happens, but picking up Z early like establishes some good idea for you. So if, for example, if we get 2 more assassins, we could just go early assassins, get that synergy bonus rolling, and we would be just unstoppable for the first stages of the game. Another thing that is very important, and I think I actually want to pause here, is that at picking those items, first of all, you need to know what items are like current meta. As I said before, it is all dependent by the stuff what is like more like popular now, what is stronger. So you need to keep an eye on that. You must always have an idea in mind what you are building with those items, and you shall always position your team comp around some items. Or otherwise, for example, you got one good item that could build into, for example, you got the large rod, right? You could build either Morellonomicon with it, which is fine, like on pretty much all the units that use their abilities. Or you could build it into Ionic Spark, which is amazing into Brawler's comp. And as we've seen in my previous video, the Brawler's comps right now are like one of the top tier comps. So picking up this like little large rod would be amazing. So yeah, that's like a thing that you should keep an eye on, but not that much. Like, I mean, no, it is like the mostly the core of the game. But the thing with the items is that you shall be considering them long term, and your decision making shall be more oriented in early game for more like oriented right now, like direct approach. So this is the thing that you shall keep an eye out. So as we can see here, as I said before, so here we have our assassins. So that is also an assassin. So for example, we get a pike or anything, we get 3 assassins rolling, we have the synergy, we go for it. Early strong synergies. It is also very important to acknowledge what synergies are very good for the early game, and that could scale later on. So for example, we have here, what we have here is a knight's bonus. I actually will resume the watch. Sure. So we begin this Kha'Zix, right? Because we want, since it is 2 Kha'Zix at the same time, it is most likely that we are upgrade him next time the dice rolls for us new pieces. The things that it's working in this game is that how you roll your pieces. And in the early game, it's most likely that you get 2-star like level 1 piece, sure, which is why we're picking these 2 Kha'Zix over this knight bonus. But the creep round, it doesn't matter what pieces you're running, like you will be able to beat those creeps with any kind of units, so it doesn't really matter. So luckily for us, we got an Aatrox here, and we decided to sell him and buy those 2 knights. So we have an option here. Like I said before, here we have our Kha'Zix upgrade, which is amazing. So now, this is a pretty like important moment here. What we have here, so having an assassins, you shall consider what comps are good with your current comp or where you can transition. You shall always be looking towards this transitioning, and it is like very important part of it. So right here we have what? we found the void synergy, like you can see here. These two are void synergy. We have our night synergy, and we also picked up this Nidalee. We're picking up this Nidalee with a thought in mind that we might be transitioning into some wild comp. So idea is that you are looking for very strong comps. Like if you're not running like the top tier meta stuff, you'll be just getting smashed by other comps. For example, sorcerers are not that strong right now, so they just don't do enough damage to kill like the brawlers, and they get instantly one-shotted by assassins, so they just couldn't even get their casts off. So this is important to acknowledge that, for example, we see here that assassins are strong. We know that assassins are strong. We know that assassins are way stronger with this wild buff. So we're picking up Nidalee with the thought in mind that this could be our thing. We also, for a while, had those knights, considering the fact that we are going for Knight Imperials, some synergy, or just some knights with some hyper carry. Not sure yet. But here, what happened here, as I mentioned earlier, so we found our wild comp, and we also know that brawlers currently are super strong. So for now, we are still in this limbo stage where everything is deciding, like we can switch back and forth between the comps, there's not so much like potential loss in it, and we found like a 2-star Warwick. So here it was pretty much decided for us. For now we have brawlers, because we have like 3 brawlers already. We have wild here, and we have assassins. So most likely at this stage of the game, you shall be realizing that you already have almost assassin bonus and you have wild bonus. So it is not important. Like for this to work, you need like what? 1 more wild piece. You need 1 Rengar to get this assassin pieces rolling, and you need 1 like. So yeah, that's it. You just run like 1 more wild piece, 1 Rengar. You have these 2 wild pieces. You put them in. You already have your wild core. So your assassins will consider the fact that you're adding assassins with this comp. You will have like these 2 more and a Rengar. So basically, your assassins will never miss their hits. They will hit faster with each attack. That's what just wild bonus does. And also, what we have here is that we have this early void synergy. So that provides for us some extra damage, right? This gives either our Kha'Zix or our Rek'Sai true damage, and this is amazing. Also, important notion here. You must always acknowledge, in fact, like building these comps, like for example, you can get like, let's say, Katarina early, and you can get 1 Darius early, right? You put them in, you put the Katarina and Darius, you may even have the Darius too, right? This is amazing, sure. And you have this like coin flip Imperial thing going, and you will win nothing early game. You wanna know why? Because the Katarina doesn't do any damage, because she needs scaling. So this is the very important thing to know. Like, you shall put your pieces appropriately to the stage of the game. If you do not have pieces that are currently strong right now, you shall never put them in. It is, like I said, it is very important to put the synergy in, but you're supposed to be like in time with the game stages. So right here, if I could just put like, this, I don't know, I could put this Warwick, put in Rek'Sai, and put in Nidalee. You know what's gonna happen? I will lose, because I wouldn't have any damage, because my Nidalee doesn't provide enough damage. Yes, sure, I will have a tanky frontline, but I will not have enough damage. Or, for example, if I just swap out the Rek'Sai for some reason for Nidalee, I wouldn't have enough tankiness, so I would also get smashed. So the thing is that this is like your basic strategy stuff. You're supposed to have frontline, and you're supposed to have people who doing damage. So this is always thing that you shall be like keeping in mind first in building those comps and putting the places in. So this is a different thing. So you're supposed to have a big plan, long-term game plan, where you will be like putting your comps, like this is what I do, this is where I go this like 4 assassins, 6 ninjas, or no, not 6 assassins, 4 wilds, like some stuff. But you shall always be keeping like an eye for your current situation, because the way this game works is that you have those resources. Yep, you have what? You have money that gets you stronger, you have your health that keeps you in a game, and like you have your current power, like power spike of your units and all that stuff. The power spike of the units also like directed to the items that you get and all that sort of thing, but that's basically the same thing. So the main goal in the game is that you supposed to get strong enough that your current mass of these power spike units will be higher than power mass of the other players, so that they would lose HP and you would keep your HP enough so you would survive. That's the main thing. And there's like whole balance thing. Like for example, you can go full feed econ with the pirates as we did in the previous video. So what happens here is you're sacrificing your HP resource to get more money, so you could invest those money into your power spike later on. As we saw all before, that worked just perfectly. So this is the thing that you shall be always keeping an eye on, you shall always think about it, like this resource management in general. And yeah, as I said before. So let's just keep rolling here. So I immediately decided, yeah, sure, this void bonus will be enough for me, for my Kha'Zix to do damage. And also just at this stage of the game, having two 2-star pieces are just enough to win like pretty much every opponent in the game. Maybe some people get more luck than I have here, so maybe they will beat me. Like you can see here, this player invested his gold, one of his resources, to get 4 units to get experience, so he could put another unit. And as you could see here, that wasn't enough, right? Or maybe it was. No, it wasn't. So I pretty much beat his Camille here. So that's what's happening here. Like, I win it barely, but I win it just enough. And the thing is that I also have more units on my bench, right? Like more cost-wise. Like he doesn't have any 3-star units here. So this is the thing that you shall always be like considering. So here what I'm basically doing is just I'm getting my units stronger. I'm picking up the pieces. So here I pick up this Cassidy and thought that maybe at some stage of the game I will be running this void bonus, which is also pretty strong actually considering how good knights are. Yeah, this is like a possibility. The other thing why you should like pretty much always pick up different like transition options is because all people are sharing the same pool. So what happens here, the way game design is that you have this whole pool for each tier of champions, right? You have your tiers from 1 to 5, right? Directly by the cost. And for each unit there is a certain pool of them. For example, if some people go, let's say, gunslingers, like one guy goes gunslingers and another guy goes gunslingers and the third person also goes gunslingers, they will not find any gunslingers in the pool because all the units share the same pool and there are only so many units of the same pool, right? So the way that the game works is then the person who isn't running gunslingers but maybe running the initially strategy like that is inferior to gunslingers will get the stronger units, he will get the better upgrades, and that way he will just beat all those guys because those guys' units weren't strong enough because this guy just ran something that they all refused to pick up, so they just getting smashed for it, they're getting punished for it. Yeah, but as we can see here, like I have like what, right now I have 3 transition options, so I'm keeping my like wild theme, right? It is pretty easy to transition from wild to shapeshifter to keep those bonuses. I have assassins in like perspective. I also have brawlers because brawlers are really good composition, and I also have void from here. So my outs here like are very different. I could also like pick this Alessandra for example and go glacials. That is also allowed. You shall always be like considering the options. Like here I had this Alessandra Cannon option, but I decided that it is too much. There are also a certain limit. For example, hold on, I'm gonna pause before this carousel because there might be something really important that I want to talk about. So there are also like this thing Like, that is very important. It is your management in terms of bench space and the thought where you are going. So you can only fit 10 units on your bench, right? It cannot be like any units that you want to pick and that sort of stuff. So what happens is that you want to have certain plan with maybe like 3, maximum 4 transition options. From there on, you will be just forced to skip other units. And usually what you should do is that you look at others players and you just see what is open right now. And that's the way you roll. You just pick up the parts. But you're also supposed to be mindful of what team comps are good. For example, like back then the knights were just so terrible, nobody ran them, especially the late game, because they have 0 scaling and stuff. So you're supposed to be keeping a thought behind this. You have so many like check marks you're supposed to be in terms of picking units. So second carousel here. I don't exactly remember what units I have. I think I have the glove. So most likely what will happen here is that I will be picking this spike. The reason why I will be picking this spike, I also hovering around him. No, I'm just here. Because he has sword. So I know for a fact that Infinity Edge is amazing. Just as an item by himself. And I also played into Ren Assassins. So Infinity Edge here for me is amazing piece of items. Also, Pike is another assassin. So having the spike is just also really strong because it just sets my assassin bonus synergy going, and it is pretty strong. But I actually think we'll be selling this guy. Yeah, here I just sell this guy, like the spike. I pick up another dead. Yeah, I'm making Infinity Edge instantly. Put it on a Z because this is like already so strong. You shall always be like keeping the charts of where your damage compare to others and where's your tankiness. You're supposed to like keep those meters up, you know? And I found another pike. So my idea here is that I just keep on going what I have. So we already have like 6 Warwicks. So there's a possibility for me to make my Warwick a 3-star, which I think I will be getting actually. So this is pretty strong. As you can see, this Z with an Infinity Edge is super strong. This one I will be losing because this guy has better synergies, like his units are stronger. And he also has Delusion with 2 completed items. That's his power spike. The thing that happens here is that I lose win streak. So I'm gonna pause again and I'm gonna talk about such thing as the ways how you can make economy. So the way this game works is that you can get gold first by gaining an interest. For example, if you save up more gold, right, you don't spend any gold, you gain more interest. And for each 10 gold up to 50, you're getting plus 1 gold at the end of your round. This is good. One of the like favorite of my ways to get an interest. Sure. But then there is like another way to get gold, which is streaking. It could be win streaking, it could be loss streaking. So win streaking is great. First of all, you don't lose any health, you get your money up and going, and probably if you're win streaking, like it is like controversial. I'll explain a bit, in a bit. So the things working that way. So you either getting win streak or lose streak. Win streaking is great because you're setting others players HP down, which is great. This is your goal of the game. You losing no health and you're gaining gold. Amazing. Lose streaking on the other hand is the thing that it is acceptable on some certain stages of the game. So the way it works is that well, as we saw in the game before, like on my previous episode, in early game I got super early pirates, right? The pirates bonus is that you get gold every turn. It's 0 to 4 gold. It's RNG based and it just free gold. Good. And I also made a lose streaking. So I did it very early. The reason why I did it very early, first of all, you get to choose an item on a carousel, right? It is amazing. You just get to pick an item. And it could be like crucial because you can just choose what path you were going. Like back then, I just chose the Ionic Spark because I knew that it was strong, so I had an option to do that. Second of all, you gain gold. You win streaking, you gain gold, you gain interest. Amazing. And the reason why it is acceptable on early stages of the game because people just don't have that many units. Units won't do to you any like significant damage. Like you can maximum lose like maybe 10 HP in the first 3 rounds, which is like sure, it's fine. For the benefits you're getting from it, like you get an item of your choice, you get a interest going because once this interest going, it is pretty good. Like you just snowball it into whatever you want. It opens up so many options. You just roll, you just level up, you just do whatever you want with your goal. So this is like important. It is acceptable in early stages game. It is not acceptable to do in a mid game and an end game. Like 100% not. It is like you cannot win the game if you were like 10 plus lose streak. It is impossible. I mean, it is if you're making some like epic comebacks or some stuff. You're hitting some ridiculously broken comps, sure, but like in 90% of the case, it is impossible to win from that. You will be just snowballing your lose and you will just lose the game. That's the way it works. The reason to that is that first of all, you are desperate for units, so you're pretty much always rolling, you're pretty much always doing something that is not very good for your economy. Even if you are saving gold, you're not gonna find like decent units because you're pretty much struggling for units already. Second of all, you're losing HP, so that's obvious. I don't think that needs any explanation. So yeah, and the thing is, what is important is that if you gain a win streak early, like it is okay from levels 1 through 5 maybe to spend extra on your team comp, like as it is right now. For example, rolling for those extra 2 stars or something, or leveling up to keep this win streak going. Because once you set this win streak going up, you only need so much gold from it, so you can just have more affordable things available to you. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So this win streak like policy back and forth, you shall definitely like play around it. So here it is. We are pretty much sure that we are getting this 3-star Warwick here. Like absolutely, like it's just gonna happen, I guess. So yeah, we got our Z upgrade. As I said right now, here and now I'm trying to establish this win streak. I had it going before, but now I'm trying to establish it more. Here I'm deciding to switch to wild for some reason, considering that I have enough tankiness. And I think that I do, because all of my 4 units are 2 stars, I'm in like super good shape, like I'm just, you know, playing around with those items, considering what I'm gonna do. Yeah, and what happens here is that our Warwick is like our mid bag, he takes like all the damage, while all assassins are doing stuff. So yeah, assassins in Nidalee for sure. Nidalee is quite strong early game, by the way. Not as strong as she used to be, but she's quite strong still. So yeah, we're pretty much done with this Warwick here. The thing is, if you can like 3-star one tanky unit early game, it is pretty much like all you need for tankiness, with some like maybe backup plan. But like 3-star units, especially tank ones, are pretty good early game. Like Darius could be like unkillable through all the mid game. Yeah. Same goes for the damage units. For example, if you are fast on 3-starring like some Lissandra, for example, who is actually pretty amazing this patch. Like she's just stupid broken. So yeah, that is like all the damage you could need. So here we're just gonna take Crocs. We're just gonna hope for better items. I slightly like mispositioned my Z, but it ended up working actually pretty well because like the healing couldn't go through. I got another spatula and another spatula. So that's not usually how it's gonna go, but you gotta play with what you got. So this is kind of items that I gotten. So right now I have an option just to make Force of Nature. I could make like more assassins, I could make anything. like I said before, like spatulas are those, and we got the 3-star warwick here, amazing. So our tankiness like pretty much sold at this point. So like I said before, spatulas by themselves don't do anything. They are just tools that allow you to mix up interesting compositions and synergies to make your whole team stronger. But what it does essentially is that if you do not make those synergies that will provide for you, um, you will probably like be in a very good shape as well, because first you don't have any good items, second you just like have nothing. You have, if you don't have synergies and you don't have items, you're just gonna get beaten by the people who have them. So yeah, here and now I picked up Ari for my 4 wild bonus when I find this Rengar. So right now we're just missing Rengar in this comp. I am pretty decided on this comp, like it is like wild, almost. If we get Rengar we get 4 wilds, like that's it. And we also get like Assassins rolling. So right now we're looking for this. I also acknowledge that this requires like me being level 6, but it is fine. And here we just found our Rengar and we also upgrade our Pike. So from here on, as you can see, I am like absolutely confident in that I will be going this ninja, not the ninja, but assassin wild path. So I just pick up units that are good for this strategy. This is like a really good perspective, because it allows us just to filter all the other units. Like we're never gonna look at those gunslingers, we're never gonna look at those sorcerers and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. That's amazing for us. It makes our life so much easier. And we also have 1 item for the assassins already, and we can make like some more assassins and all that sort of stuff. So that's good. Here, the strong consideration would be a blitzcrank. So it is important to acknowledge that especially this is still like early stages of the game, like early to mid game, just how strong some units by themselves are. So here I will be most likely picking this blitzcrank, because I know like right now blitzcrank is so strong and the brawlers are also as a comp so strong that I might be just picking it. But I ended up not. Okay, that's fine too. So here we're just trying to make our Zed a 3-star. So Zed is one of the best units to make 3-star. First of all, he has like such, you know, lower cost compared to like other 3-star and 4-star units. He is amazing at doing damage, and also when you run him, you have that lovely ninja bonus, which is like also amazing. Like this ninja bonus, if he is alone, just makes him strong enough to be like your actual main carry. So this is the thing that you shall like. Yes, it's amazing. So here, like you can see, our Warwick immediately just tanking. This is our front line, while our assassin working in the back. It's just nothing here. Yeah, that was actually pretty amazing. You know, flip around by the Z. So it's fine. Here we just, from here on, we will be just pretty much stacking the stuff. Like, there's not so many things to explain as if right now. Like, from now on, it's just basically execution. There's so many things in this game, but not so many like just do the stuff. Okay, so what we looking for here, for items here, it is either one, the spatula that is actually being taken right now. Taking this spatula would allow us to make like just +2 units just out of nowhere, or we could like go for like, ideally we would want the sword to make another assassin, because like spatula plus sword makes you an assassin, or we would want something for like different purposes. Like as if right now I don't exactly remember what items we have. I think it is like a, maybe a bow or something. We'll see in a bit here. So here, what I decided to do here is I picked this rod, because this rod allows me to do like multiple different items that are pretty good. I could go Rage Blade for my carries, I could go Marella for my AP carries, or I could go Ionic Spark for my, you know, like tanky guys to be more tanky and do more damage. So here now we have this Marella. Marella Namekian is an amazing item. it reduces the health regeneration, and it also boosts the damage and health. Like, it is amazing item. It's one of the best. We can also just hover here to see all the options. So here on, I decide to make like my team rolling. I put in 4th wild with this force of nature. I just enable my team comp. I also make this Morello on Ari, because I made this item not because like I was trying to like just make an item. No, I'm gonna be keeping this Ari. It's just she's the best to put this item on, like right now on my team. So I just did that, and I know for sure that I will be upgrading this Ari. Usually you shall not be placing your items like that. It is fine if you're 100% sure that you will sell this unit, but other than that, it's not so good. So here I made decision that I'm getting rid of this void bonus, so I'm not running Rek'Sai, I'm not running Brawlers for now at least, because I have enough tankiness with this. Like, these 3 wild units in a front right now is enough, because my backline doing so much damage. Like, it works kind of like sliders. You have like this tankiness slider going up and a damage slider going up, and you only need to reach like certain measure of it. So if you have like super high damage, you don't need so high of a tankiness, because you just do so much damage. This is basically how assassins comp work. They do so much damage they don't have enough tankiness, so they just win before they actually take any damage. That's how it works. You can see this Zed here is just doing some stupid damage. He did like 412 damage 3 times in a row. That's like not a usual thing. It just, yeah, none of my units even had the time to die or take any damage anyway. So yeah, that doesn't matter. But this is the thing that you shall be like keeping those meters. Like I said before, awareness of what happens right now in the game, where you're at, and what pieces are strong right now, currently, against others, and those sliders, like damage and tankiness. You shall be keeping an eye on those. So here, just nothing, like, since I'm already, like, absolutely sure what team comp I'm going, I'm just making everything in my way to make this stronger. Like, if I wanted to push it, I would roll. But the thing is that here we're in such a strong shape that we do not need to roll. Sure, we need to upgrade it for further, like, even more strength and stuff, so we could actually scale better. But as it is right now, I'm not panicking. We are super safe. We are so established. We are so strong that we do not need to push like anything. So we can just save our gold to spend it later with better like options. So here I found like, oh no, I just found a Kha'Zix and another like fight. That's amazing. Okay, I just remember that there will be like a point in a game where I would not want to sell any units, so I would just upgrade my level and push another unit in, like to buy another unit. That's also a thing. That's like extreme measure, but it was just feeling so good and we were like so rich already, so it was like kind of the thing to do. So as it is right now, this particular team here, it has super strong physical damage, super like decent tankiness. It's not that hard of a tankiness, but the damage is just all basically what we have is just so much of a physical damage team. Like as you can see here, this team with this Braum and all those tanky units are pretty good against physical damage. This is why we lost. We don't have enough tankiness for those units to make enough damage to these tanks, and we do not have magical damage. Our magical damage is basically like what? Zed's shurikens and Ari with the Morello. But Ari is still level 1, so she dies like so fast she couldn't even like get the thing off, basically. So yeah, that's our weak side. So from here on, like you have like your physical damage established. Of course, we will be like getting more on those. Yeah, that's sure. But other than that, like it is just established pretty much. So what we need right now is we need to find a way either to do more magical damage, so we are like killing both super armor force focused teams and magical focused teams at the same time, and or we need to find more tankiness. It's either one of those. Like, yeah. But here we do enough damage to kill this guy. And by the way, like having this much of advantage in terms of damage makes so much damage to your enemies. Like you could see here, I did like what, like 10 plus damage to this guy. You do 2 damage for each unit alive, and you do 1 damage for your like summoner here. So what I decided here, yeah, this was it, or maybe not. So I just put the another assassin here because like it is strong. Also placing Pike in here. Okay, Ari upgrade, that was amazing. See here, I just buy because I can this Ari, but I'm pretty much sure since my team is assassin focused and not so magic focused, I'm pretty much sure that we will be not upgrading this Ari, and I ended up selling her, but we'll see what happens. So there's also such thing as crowd control in this like teamfight tactics game. Like you can see here, this guy has actually decent crowd control. You see, he has his Morgana stun and he also has his Sejuani stun. So this guy's crowd control was so decent that it was almost enough to beat me. But he hadn't have enough damage to beat me. For example, if he had this Marilonomicon on his Morgana, he would 100% beat me here. So that's the thing. So right now we are like kind of fixing this with adding of this like Pike unit, who is also an assassin and who also has great crowd control. So this is also one thing that you should be keeping an eye of, because the later you go into the game, the more important crowd control is, because in the later stages of the game, units have way more health than before, so taking them down takes longer, so you need to buy this time, which is why you are basically need this crowd control to make it. Like you need like some strong units like Sejuani, Cho'Gath, Nar, all those good units. So here I went for the Chain West to make a Frozen Heart on my Pike, because I know that Frozen Heart is stupidly broken, especially right now. Also, the thing I do here is I position my units for Hextech. It's not the perfect position for Hextech, because like ideally I would want to move the Z towards my Kha'Zix, but that's another thing. Like it's fine, I haven't encountered any Hextech to make assumptions for that, so it's fine. But you shall be always like mindful of these Hextech procs and stuff. So the Frozen Heart is so strong, like it's, oh, here's so unlucky. Like you could see here I got 4 4-star units, not the 4-star 4-cost units, and I do not need any of them, and I will be just end up skipping them and keeping all the economy here. I also pick up Katarina because she's an assassin, and we are currently looking for a 6 assassin package, so we need this Katarina like to make it happen. So yeah, as I was saying before, so right now I fixed my crowd control problem, like basically. Oh, there it comes. I sold the Ari because this is like more assassin focused team than magic damage focused team, so I just sold Ari to get more Zeds, you see here. So yeah, this Pike solves our like crowd control problems here. Like just one unit could do that. You put Pike, who could stun the whole team, and also because he's an assassin, he jumps before, and he jumps on the backline, and then he does his dash with his Frozen Heart, so he basically slows down the whole team, attack speed of the whole enemy team, as you can see here. 3 units here, where, yeah, 4 units now. He dashed through the whole team, he stunned him. This is exactly why we are winning right now. We're winning because of this Pike. This Spike bought us enough time to kill all those nice units. If we did not have this Spike, we wouldn't be able to survive here. So this is also the thing that you should be keeping an eye on. You have only so many things to keep an eye, like to put in a check mark in this game. Like you need damage, check, crowd control, check, tankiness, check, like magic damage, check, resistances and stuff, check, synergies, check. Like the way this game works is just, it is a distributing of those resources, and to make these check marks like happen, you need like to distribute your resources, like your health, your gold, and your current like I guess you could say power level of your team. So this is the way it works. So here we got Nika's help, which I guess I will be using to make my units even stronger. And we also got the Thief's Gloves. You know, if I got the second sword, I could make like another Infinite Edge. That would make my Zed like just insta kill people like whenever he decides to apply crit chance. So this is why I'm going 6 assassins. I guess at this point of the game, 6 assassins are pretty strong for me. So I decided just to push level. You see here, I decided to push level even though I don't have enough gold, which is actually a mistake because that way I'll lose some interest. But at this point of the game, I know that I'm that much strong that I just don't need, like, I can allow myself to do such a thing. You see here all those frozen hearts because of the pike, and you see what's gonna, he's not gonna jump because he has casting on him. What would have happened if this weren't the casting? He would be just jumping across and also stunning the whole enemy team. But that was fine. That was again enough damage and crowd control to kill my enemies. So what we have here is just we're gonna roll and push the level. Yeah, here on is just all. Oh, I found the 3-star Z. So pretty much game at this point is 1. I also see that my Rengar is level 1, so I also want to lock on that. This is also an important thing. As you can see, people also realize that and they're already congratulating me in chat. Because people realize once you, like, it is like, you can see here, I have a 5 win streak, not the highest win streak possible, sure, but the power package of my team is so strong. Like, this is super bad team against me, right? This is a, what, Night Rangers team, with Glacial on it. Like, this Braum, this Sejuani, like, so many control here. There also will be games, like, enemies where I'll be losing, I guess. Maybe not, I don't know. But even this, I win this only because I have this spike with the Frozen Heart. That buys me enough time. This spike and the Warwick, and maybe some Nidalee and Ari here and there, but not much of those. Here I just spend my lock-in position. Oh, also I found this Nidalee. Oh, not the Nidalee, but the Evelyn. So I decided to put this over one of my Kha'Zix to make the 6 assassins bonus rolling. So right here is just so strong, it's just ridiculous. The another thing is that you could see here that we only have like what, 2 great items. This Morellonomicon hasn't done much this game, and we're winning. This is just the great illustration of how specialists make the game work. Like I said before, like we have synergies over items, so we may have better bonuses overall over the scaling of the items. As you can see here, my Zed is just so insane with the 6 assassins bonus. He just kills people like 3 crits, like for 1,000 damage in a row. This is just absurd here. Like, yeah, I'm even hovering around it. So this is pretty much the game. I don't think there's a person who could beat me. Like, maybe some people with the like Phantom Dancer. What I should have done more this game is just to look at my opponents to see what they're doing, because if at least one person ran more assassins in their team, I wouldn't be able to like make those 3-star Zeds happening and stuff. So, and also like the assassin market would be very contested. So that's a thing also. Out of those items, I decided to give more attack speed to my assassins, so I just pick up those, like this Sterak's. It's also on a nice piece. The one thing I haven't talked also is that on a second and third carousel, it is more important to look for, like, you still looking for an item, sure. You always look on a carousel. You always look for an item before the piece, but then again, like, if it is a piece that upgrades into something really strong, you may do this. Here I decided that this Kaisa is more powerful than Evelyn for the first like level, so I just decided to put this. Also, this Kaisa activates the Void Synergy, which is also pretty strong. Like, I make my damage even stronger here. which is amazing. As you can see here, this team is actually pretty strong against assassins, but they cannot win me because I'm already so scaled and strong, and also I have this crowd control tankiness thing going. So yeah, I decided here to sell Evelyn, put in Kaisa to activate this void, which is also good stuff. I found my Ranger, so basically from this point this is just like I'm gonna be keeping this as auto roll and we will be just commentating around this. I decided to not go 3-star Ranger because it is like too late in the game, I don't have any gold. So right now I'm also looking like to making my units 3-star just in a sense of perfection and like absolute domination to other players. Guess that's a thing to do. So yeah, that's like kinda it. This is my second over explain around. Like I said before, I very looking for your feedback. I'm very looking for your engagement, so please approach me. I stream at Twitch, like I said in the beginning of this video, at Imperial40HD, and I stream like every Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, I guess for now. Maybe some occasional Monday, Sunday shifts, I do not know yet. Yeah, so I will be very pleased to see you here. As we can see, from here on it's just pretty much auto roll. But the main point of this game is like to know what's good right now and to go there. Because like it takes only so much. Like you have this resource management element, you have this like forward strategy thinking element, like you gotta know what's good, what's bad. Basically here what happened is just I went for like more powerful team comp, I got offered, so I basically went because of that. There weren't like many of those like, you know, gold manipulating strategies. I just saw what was offered, I just saw what was available. I also have the knowledge what is good, so I just went for it. This is how it works. So yeah, from here on I'll be just rolling. So yeah, I found my pike. It is finally good time. I guess I used Nico's help on this pike because I guess it's the same for finding this pike or Kha'Zix, but I decided that pike is more powerful. I also throw my Bloodthirster on a Ranger just because like why not? And I also have these like possible mittens to make like one of my units a Yordle. Yeah, it was actually funny. I thought like imagine if you would have a Yordle of choice every day. Like imagine if it would be like a pet shop and you could choose the Yordles. I think that would be really cool, and because you could make like so many cute things with it. So here we are just smashing, we're just destroying enemies, like it's not even close, like people just get eliminated like left and right because we are so golden, we are so powerful. The thing like here maybe I will be looking other than Kha'Zix is just upgrading my Kaisa, but it is so irrelevant at this point, like it doesn't even matter. Like the thing I would change about this game would be like making not Morello but maybe some more useful item. For example, Trap Claw instead of this Morello, because like I don't think that this Morello made much of a difference this game. Like it wasn't that particularly powerful. But for example, my other game where I had Lysandra, like from my previous episode, it was like it would be like very cool and crucial effect to have this Landry on my Lysandra back then. So here is just complete massacre. This person has so many tanks, he has so many like crowd control, but it's still like not even close, and I just kill every single person. So from here on I just decide to roll for Kaisa, I guess, or I just chill here and just enjoy the victory. So this is basically how you shall manage your resources. I could go in depth for more details on every single aspect, sure, I guess. But for now on, the plan is just to like find more strategies. I will be adding more like videos of the games, like the games I thought were interested or where I got like some insane things like this, like where I found like 4 3-star units with a perfect team basically. Yeah, I will be uploading this, so I will be very happy if you would check this. So here on we'll just see the victory screen. there it goes. Here I come. So I want to thank you, every single one who is watching this video. You cannot imagine how much that means to me, and I hope you to see you in episode number 3. So this was your Imperial 46 HD. Goodbye.